Welcome to my video, which is my 2001 cycle ride from Land's End to John O Groats, which I did in two parts, and the reason for doing that was just getting time to do it. So I decided to do half in 2021 and the other half in 2022. Anyone doing the jog will know one of the hardest things is organising transport to Land's End and transport back from John O Groats. So here I have my bike. I got the train from Barnsley, and it's a Boardman hybrid and quite a lot of weight on the panniers at the back, including a tent. Trains were quite easy and straightforward. I went via Sheffield down to London Paddington, had a bit of a snack on the way, and then got the train down to Penzance, which was quite a decent ride, no issues at all, and quite a scenic train journey really. This one was just going past the dockyard where I used to work in the Royal Navy, so that was Frigate Alley. And it goes on to Penzance, and that is the last stop on the line, which means I then have to cycle from Penzance to Land's End. So it was just a short ride of just over 9 miles. At Land's End, there's a campsite right near the start. It's quite a decent campsite as well. So I had a very small tent. It says fits 2 people in, but it's very small. But it was quite light to pack. So day 1, 55 miles, and it was Land's End to St Denis. And these are the obligatory photos near the start. Just about to start. See you later, bye. Nice start to the ride. Went past Penzance, which was nice, and then you went more inland, and beware, the hills are just ridiculous in Devon and Cornwall. On to another campsite, this time at St Denis. Quite a straightforward campsite, showers and what have you. And had quite a nice evening, the sun was out. So my second day of cycling was St Denis to Launceston. It absolutely threw it down all night, so it was absolutely wet through. And I was wet through all day and really cold. I did a park run at Llanidrock, National Trust site, and this is me trying to dry some clothing. It never got dried. I went to Morrison's for dinner and managed to dry some clothes there and change clothes as well. And then these are a few of the pictures when I did get to Launceston, which seems like a really nice town. And I stayed at an Airbnb that night, and from then on I never stayed on the campsite. This was just a few snacks, and there's me resting my legs because I was absolutely knackered after going up all those hills of Devon and Cornwall. But yeah, lovely Airbnb, and that's exactly how I felt on that night, shattered. Third day of cycling, Launceston to Ilfracombe, and that was a good mix of really flat cycle trails with a massive hill towards the end, up into Ilfracombe. I managed to dry my tent out here from the previous day, and yeah, loads of these little tunnels. I think it's an old railway track, and it was really nice. And this is a cafe where I had a really nice burger. I ate some amazing food on this trip. My second Airbnb of the trip was this one, and yeah, it was not good. It was a toss-up whether it was actually better to be camping, but I did stay here. I slept on the bed rather than in it. So you live and learn. But went to a great Wetherspoons in town, and it's a lovely, lovely seaside resort. Day 4, Ilfracombe to Taunton. This was again a hilly one. Started off with a Wetherspoons breakfast, which you don't think you can beat, and some amazing scenery here, as I cycled quite a lot on the coast. Yeah, this was a really nice part to cycle on, but again, not without its hills. Anyone doing the jog should really be training to do some hills before the start. This was one of the best burgers I've ever had. It came right at the top of a massive hill, and I was absolutely knackered. And it was from a burger van, which I don't normally go to, but the quality was amazing. Yeah, really nice. It did start to flatten out eventually, and I went through quite a nice few seaside resorts. Loads of country lanes. I did the route on commute and tried to avoid major routes as best I can. I had a bit of a comedy fall at like 1 mile an hour, where I went through a gate and ended up falling on the floor and doing a bit of DIY first aid. Went past Western-super-Mare, which was really, really busy. It was really, really warm this time of year, and they had an amazing ice cream. And let's face it, the reason why I cycle is so I can eat lots of food. And all I seemed to do was eat lots of food. I could never get it right in terms of diet. I just ate as much food as I could, and this was an obscene amount, but I probably managed to eat most of it or save it for the next day. As well as Airbnbs, I stayed in quite a few Premier Inns, which I tend to go in when I'm doing touring. They're really good for letting you take your bike into your rooms. Day 5 of cycling, Taunton to Bristol. This was very flat. Started with a Premier Inn massive breakfast, which is great value, cost about a tenner, and you can eat as much as you want. I tend to do just that, and then I can cycle most of the day off of the breakfast. Went through Bristol, and again stayed at a Premier Inn. It seemed a really nice city. Again, the weather was lovely and quite easy to get from one end to the other. Sometimes I'd go to the pub on a night, or if I couldn't be bothered, I'd just get some beer and either sit in the room, or on this occasion I think I went to a nearby park and just sat out. And another great night's sleep at Premier Inn. Well past halfway now, and this ride was, on day 6, was Bristol to Birmingham. And as ever, started the day with a massive Premier Inn breakfast. Forgot to mention, but once in Ilfracombe, I managed to post all my camping kit home because I was sick of lugging it up and down the big hills in Devon and Cornwall. And for the sake of a tenner, it got rid of a fair bit of weight. Birmingham was really easy to get through, considering it's the second biggest city in the UK. I found it really good for cycling. After another Premier Inn stay, it was day 7 of cycling, Birmingham to Derby. And again, that was a really flat route, quite straightforward, no issue at all. A mixture of off-road and some cycle tracks at the side of busy roads, but no issues at all. Derby seemed like a nice town. It had loads of these rams everywhere, which that's the mascot of Derby County Football Club. Before a night stay at another Premier Inn, I had tea at a Wetherspoons and a few drinks. Last day now, day 8, and this is Derby to home in Wakefield. And went via Chesterfield, where they've got a crooked spire. Quite a few Greggs stops on the whole route. Got to love a Greggs. On the whole trip, I didn't have a single puncture, but the only issue I did have was with a couple of spots breaking. Once around the Birmingham area, and then in Sheffield. So I managed to pop into this shop to sort the one out on this occasion. From Sheffield to Wakefield, it was hard work. I was really knackered, and this hill didn't help. So steep. But I started to see signs for nearer home, and then one for Ossett, where I live. And that's me at the end. Very knackered, but really pleased to have completed this journey, which is something I've always wanted to do. And in the next video, I'll show you how to complete the second stage. Hope you liked the video, and if you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing it, appreciate that. Thank you very much.